Hello again and welcome to another episode of I Want to Talk About This Album. I almost said welcome to yet another episode, which makes it sound like it's a chore. I hope it's not getting to that point just yet because there's a lot more to come, believe me. So yes, it's I Want to Talk About This Album, and today, as you can see, I want to talk about Motorhead's Inferno. I would even say Motorhead's beloved, maybe some might even say beloved Inferno. I know a lot of Motorhead fans really like this album. They love this album. They call it a heavy album. It's considered, I think, generally by true Motorhead bangers to be maybe their best latter era album. I don't think so, which I'm going to talk about starting right now. So I got this album originally. It came out in 2004, and it was right around this time that I pretty much started to check out of Motorhead. I didn't dislike them, but I guess at that point I'd been listening to them for 21 years, and Motorhead was pretty consistent. They put an album out every 2 years or so, and maybe at this point in 2004, I was just tired of Motorhead. I'm still not sure if I like it or not. I can't say that I like it. I definitely can't say that I love it. I'm not sure. I'm somewhere between not liking it and maybe just being bored of Motorhead when I listened to it a short time ago. So I got this in 2004, and Hammered had come out in, I guess, was it about 2 years prior? And I got that, just didn't get into it. We Are Motorhead, which I talked about a few weeks ago. That was really the last Motorhead album that I really kind of got into or considered that I liked. And then Hammered, Inferno, Kiss of Death, Motorizer, The World Is Yours, Aftershock, Bad Magic. I just couldn't really get into Motorhead too much after that. I did listen to all those records. I never bought them. Actually, this one, Inferno, was the last Motorhead record that I bought until recent times. I did buy Bad Magic after Lemmy died, but those other ones that I just mentioned, the ones that followed, Kiss of Death, Motorizer, The World Is Yours, Aftershock, and Bad Magic, I think I downloaded them all and listened to them all at the time they came out, but just didn't buy them. So this is the last Motorhead album that I bought proper, and I've got it here. There it is. And you know how I got this record? This is kind of weird. I got this free. I got this one free. If anybody remembers, I know Mike Pratt, maybe Kirk Desmond, Dallas definitely. I had a lot of problems with those bastards at Amazon. This was in May or June last year. And they sent me stuff that I didn't order. They sent me multiple copies of things that I did order. They sent me adult diapers. They sent me, I think, some tampons. They possibly even sent me a dildo. I might keep that news to myself if they did. But they made all kinds of mistakes, and this was one that I think they even sent 2 copies out. I never ordered it. I never wanted this era of Motorhead on vinyl. I was never into it that much, as I said. So I didn't feel like I had to replace it. But I think it was We Are Motorhead that I ordered, and they sent it. And they sent this, I think it was also in the same box, something. So, I did have 2, that's right. I was at El Chopo some months ago with my second version of it, and I traded it for, I think it was Keel, The Right to Rock, which I talked about a month ago. So yeah, they sent me 2 copies of Inferno, neither of which I ordered. I kept this one and I traded one for The Right to Rock. So good for me, but it was a pain in the ass. So yeah, there it is. So this is modern day Motorhead. I've talked about this before. I don't really like metal Motorhead, which this is. This is, now to me, Motorhead, this is metal. Motorhead was heavy metal. Back in 79, 80, AC/DC, Van Halen, Kiss, that was all. Everything that was, crunchy or anything like that was considered heavy metal, including Motorhead, Iron Maiden, and, Deep Purple, I guess, was heavy metal. Rat was heavy metal even a few years later. But then I think maybe around this time, Motorhead became a metal band, I think. And I don't really like metal Motorhead. I think that had a lot to do with Mickey D's drumming. I feel like his drumming was he's a great drummer, of course. But I thought his drumming was maybe a little bit too complex for Motorhead's music. And I don't know, this is just my personal speculation. I thought, around the time he joined the band, they just became too a little bit too metal. Yeah, so maybe it was before this record, but I know a lot of people are the opposite. They love Motorhead, that era of Motorhead, and they especially love this album, as I said, because it's heavy. And to me, Motorhead shouldn't be heavy. Motorhead should be, you know, they should be rock, and they should be, you know, but Motorhead needs groove and bounce and shuffle, and I think this latter era Motorhead lacked that. And I think that was largely because of Mikkey D. I don't know. Yeah, so that's my general thoughts on this album. I'm not overly familiar with it. I did have to, as I have in the past, I had to take notes for it, and there they are. Just the last half of the page is my notes on Inferno, just so I give you my well-informed opinion. When I listened to this earlier today, that was the first time I've listened to this the full album in maybe since around the time it came out. I don't remember listening to the whole thing in full in any recent years. So I need the refresher. So I will get to it right now. I'm going to open up now. Something that I'll tell you right now that I don't like about this. I don't know why, but it's a double record. And it's only 12 songs. And I think I just, when I listen to it, I'm conscious of time. I think it was less, 45, 50 minutes, I think, somewhere around there. I think there's no need for it to be a double record. And this bothered me a little bit when I listened to NOLA by Down, which, you know, I've listened to all my life, since 1995 on CD, all the way through. And they put on 2 records. I just don't like listening to 2 or 3 songs, getting up, flipping the record over, 3 songs, flip the record over, 3 songs, flip the record over. Yeah, so it bothers me. Three songs on a side. It's just too much of this, you know. Flipping is what that's called. But it's a double record, yet not a gatefold, just like And Justice for All. So I'll open it up here. I'm not sure. By the way, here's the hype sticker. You can see it there. This is orange vinyl. Some people might say orange, but it's orange to me. Orange vinyl includes the tracks "It's in the Name of Tragedy," "Whorehouse Blues" or "Whorehouse Blues," Ralph Cifaretto, and "Smiling Like a Killer." And it's got a parental advisory sticker there. Thanks, Tipper Gore. Going back to the 80s there. All right, so let me open this up. I don't remember what's inside when I bought this. I mean, when I had it on CD. God, these are sometimes hard to open. Maybe I just need a sharper knife. All right, here we go. All right. There we go. Ooh. I don't want to cut it. I'd be such an awful surgeon. People would be suing me for malpractice constantly, I think, if I were a surgeon. I'm not good with a knife. Here we go. All right, so there it is. And there it is again. Let's see, all right. There's a nice photo of them. All right, cool packaging anyway. Lyrics, white print on red background. That's easy to read, as opposed to gray on black background. All right, so it looks like, okay, so it's the first 6 songs on this. And I'm going to guess it's the second 6 songs on the other one. There's another, not sure why they printed it like this. So here's the top. I don't know why this is the top. They printed the picture and the lyrics. It should be like this. Yeah. Let's see what this orange record looks like. Where's the top? There it is. Cool. I guess it's cool. There it is. That is indeed orange. Maybe they should have called this Donald Trump orange. You know, they always have these adjectives. It's not just enough to call it red. It has to be fire engine red or cherry red or sky blue or something like this. Let's call this Donald Trump orange because he lives in Florida and he's from New York. All right, so there it is. If I can get this back in here, I will talk about it at some point, which is going to be now. And not too much to say because, as I said, I'm not overly familiar. Get these back in. And, all right, so the first track is called Terminal Show. Now, to be honest, I don't know what Terminal Show means, and I couldn't glean anything from the lyrics, but Nonetheless, it is called Terminal Show, and it's fast. It's not thrashy like some Motorhead songs from around this era. It's fast. It's not thrashy like Burner or I don't know, whatever some of the other opening Motorhead songs were. And it is kind of heavy. And again, as I said, I don't really like Motorhead to be heavy. It's okay. Next is Killers. This one I think did have a good kind of a bounce to it, a little bit of a good Motorhead feel. It is up tempo. It's not fast like Terminal Show, but it is an up tempo fast Motorhead song. This had a similar riff or a similar vibe, I thought, when I listened to it today, as Stay Out of Jail, which was, I think, also the second song from We Are Motorhead. I know it was on We Are Motorhead. I think it's the second song. The riff, excuse me, what happened there? The fuck was that? The riff reminded me of Stay Out of Jail. Stay Out of Jail. That song is okay. Next is In the Name of Tragedy. This one I like. This one is probably my favorite song on the album. There's not too much that stood out in here, but In the Name of Tragedy is good. It does also have that good kind of it's up tempo, fast. It's got good bounce to it. It's got a little bit of a groove to it. There's some double bass in the chorus, and it is a heavy song, but it is a good one. I like it. Usually, you might think if it's heavy, of course it's good. This is heavy but good, not heavy and good. Next is In the Name of, Suicide. This is a little bit slower, so they're changing up a little bit. I like that so far. It's slower. It's okay, but it doesn't really have any real feel to it. There's a line in this, Stay Clean, Be True, which reminded me of Lemmy really recycled or called back to many of his lyrics. He repeats a lot of lyrics. So Stay Clean. Now there was a song on Orgasmatron called Mean Machine. On Mean Machine, he also mentioned Stay Clean. Of course, Stay Clean is from Overkill. So I like Lemmy's callback lyrics. Pretty cool. That song is okay. Life's a Bitch. It has kind of a bluesy intro, and then the segue from the first chorus to the second verse is also kind of bluesy. The song was okay. A little bit catchy. Nothing great, but it was okay. Next one, Down on Me. I've lost track of where you would flip it. I think this would have been the end of the first record. Yeah, it's track 6. It's up tempo, it's faster. Nothing about this caught my attention. Next is In the Black. Now, In the Black, just at least a little part of it, I guess the guitar, a little bit of the riff, totally reminded me of, I was listening to it and I had to pause it. I thought, what does this song remind me of? And when you're playing it in your head, but you can't quite catch it. And it came to me, it reminds me of Midnight Maniac by Crocus. Remember that song? Yeah, that just for a few seconds, the riff in The Black just reminds me of Midnight Maniac by Crocus, which is on the Blitz album, I think. And that's another song. Nothing really happening in this song. Next is called Fight. It's a fast song. At this point, I felt like the album was getting a little bit repetitive. Nothing really stood out too much. Next is In the Year of the Wolf. Same thing. It was just, I thought this song was just indistinguishable from previous songs. Nothing to see here. Next is Keys to the Kingdom. Now, this one, this was totally bluesy song, but heavy bluesy. And it has a middle section. I guess it's in the middle. Very unexpected, I think, from what you know about Motorhead. I think you wouldn't expect music like this in the middle of a Motorhead song. I didn't love this song, but at least it was finally, after kind of 3, so-so songs, this one did stand out. So I'll say that. 2 more. The next one is Smiling Like a Killer. This one I did like. This totally sounded like it could have been the second song on the record, maybe even the opening song. Fast tempo. It's got the Motorhead. Motorhead really got into a formula around this time from the aughts, maybe even from the mid or late 90s. They really had a formula. This sounds like it could have been the number 2 song. This is one of the better ones. This one I did like. Smiling Like a Killer. And the last one, Whorehouse Blues. This is obviously a very bluesy acoustic song, harmonica, acoustic guitar. Totally brought to mind. Now, this one I was not as familiar with, and I know they played this live, I think, for a number of years, starting with this tour, and I think continuing on for quite a few tours. They did an acoustic version of Ace of Spades on, it was on The World Is Yours. It was the single was Get Out of Line. I think the B-side to the Get Out of Line, was it Get Out of Line? Get Back in Line. What was that song called? Did I write it down? Get Back in Line, not Get Out of Line. That doesn't make sense. It was called Get Back in Line. The single from The World Is Yours was Get Back in Line, and they did an acoustic version of Ace of Spades that really is essentially a remake of Whorehouse Blues. It's okay. It's something different, at least. It's not a song that I love. It's you know, kind of cool hearing Lemmy sing like that and hearing harmonic in a Motorhead song. So yeah, so there it is. I have to go pick the record up because I'm going to show it to you again. So there it is. It's I know a classic for a lot of people, not for me. Cool to have it again. And I am going to talk about all those Motorhead records that I mentioned earlier, because I mentioned that I didn't buy Kiss of Death, Motorizer, The World Is Yours, Aftershock, and Bad Magic. I never bought them at any point, but I did buy them on vinyl in this run that I've been on, and I will talk about those in the coming months. It's going to take a long time to get to all of them. But until then, this one can tide you over, and this is called Inferno.